So my name is Courtney Headley. I'm the Global Head of Culture and Inclusion. At the core of our inclusive culture is the belief that every employee should feel like they belong, that they can bring their true, authentic selves to work every day. We celebrate our many differences as a source of strength that bring us together to solve the world's hardest challenges. We believe our diverse, equitable, and inclusive work environment helps each one of us to thrive each day. In celebration and in honor of Pride Month, I'm joined by Rebecca Mercer, Harper Kelley, and Nat Pim, and I welcome you into today's conversation to learn a little bit more about their journeys and their stories. And, being the parent, just to kind of start with you and to kick off today's conversation, being the parent of several children who are, living, and experiencing their own authentic journeys, can you share a little bit about you and how you have approached that, and how what the key priorities are, and just how you do that as a parent, and how you meet them where they are, and obviously welcome them in their true authentic selves.
Um, it, it From the parental standpoint, when my youngest one first came out, it was very difficult for her to come out because she's an introvert on top of that, and struggles with some other things. And for me, it was like a shock wave of, I don't understand. I don't know how to deal with this. It didn't feel real. It's, uh, the process, I would say because it wasn't with what I grew up with, what I was raised with. It was quite a transformation for me to learn to adapt. And I'm a slow turtle to the adapting. I had to go through a grieving process of losing, yeah, I guess you could say losing my baby boy. But then I had to learn, okay, I haven't lost my child. I've gained a daughter that I'm looking at as she needs to be who she is. And no matter how difficult it was for me, it was probably 10 times harder for her to come out, because even when she came out 5, 6 years ago, it was still shunned upon. And she went through a lot of traumatic events, that we had to, you know, learn to grow with. And it, I mean, between her coming out and how she was feeling, she felt pushed away from a lot of people. So what I did was I wanted to support her, and even though all the hardships were coming in, the school districts worked great with us and trying to make sure that everything she needed, and all the plans they put in place. So the support mechanism that we all had in place to get through this, it's a team effort.
Um, there are, especially the transgender community, there are laws being passed around the country.
Don't even get me started on those.
Yep. And what I really wanted to push is supporting our youth is the most important thing. Um, we have one of our beneficiaries for my charity that we choose almost every year. The stories I have heard of them, of teenagers wandering into this place, homeless, scared, and the volunteers at this organization, they empower them. They help them find housing, education, um, all the support they need, and they come out of this place as it's like they're not even the same person when you see the growth in these kids, once they have that support. And there are so many of our youths that are out on the streets, in need of homes. So we need allies, and even small bits of support help.
Harper, I think it's such a critical message. The importance of being there and being an ally to each other. Can you, for our viewers, can you just articulate, what does it mean? What are some ways that all of us can demonstrate our allyship in ways that are meaningful, thoughtful, and support us all. Any perspective on that?
I would say the easiest thing to do is just let the person do their thing and support them quietly. That's the first thing you can do. Most people, they're happy with that. If you want to do more, go for you. I can't personally really say what to do. Harper can probably answer that better than I can.
I that's actually a really great point. Um, you want to be an ally in a way that is comfortable for you. If you're trying too hard, we'll notice it can actually be embarrassing for us
Hmm.
in that case. But small things, putting your pronouns in a signature line uh, immediately indicates to someone like me that you're either part of the community or an ally.
Or you're aware, and yes, I very much so second that.
Um, I know, I know it's hard to get that through to people, but it's a small thing that really we 100% notice almost every time,
Hmm.
um, and it's a great start.
You
Other
know, if I can add there, sometimes people do that, adding pronouns just because it's trending. So, and that sort of sometimes bothers me because as an ally, it's in addition to doing that as a gesture to show the support, it's also important to educate yourself in the background, read about it, understand what things mean, and just go through that learning process and have that understanding and then gain that respect like naturally, and
that's
then then those support and additional things that you mentioned totally make sense.
that's a great point. And another good thing that you can do that you brought up is say you meet someone whose gender identity you're just not familiar with. Let's say you don't fully understand non-binary, or um, do a quick Google search. Uh, when we find out that you Googled the answer to a question you had instead of asking us, it's like mind blowing. I can't believe they did that. That's such a great thing. So
It shows
yeah,
they actually have some forethought and want to learn about it. And it's not always appropriate to ask those questions either.
yeah, and there's answers for everything online, pretty much. Um,
So,
the
so
information's there.
sorry, Harper. So to just kind of build on Rebecca, would love to get your perspective too, if you, would like to share some of your views on allyship and how it shows up. But what I'm hearing in a lot of the conversation today is, the importance of caring for each other. Right. Again, going
Yes.
back to the empathy,
Mutual
meeting
respect.
people where they
Yep.
are, mutual respect. Exactly. So Rebecca, any thoughts from your standpoint on allyship and how we all can step into that and really demonstrate that?
I think the biggest one is don't stop trying. Um, I've got uh, with my non-binary child. I'm trying to, I'm doing these little nitpicks on, because I used to say princess because grew up being my princess, and so I'm like, okay, so what would be appropriate? And then the oldest one would tell me, well, how about majesty? And I'm like, oh, that just doesn't really fit. So I go in and I started doing this goofy little thing with texting, texting them and saying, oh, okay, here, how about this nickname? Okay. Or I would just start saying, okay, cutie pie, okay, baby, okay, just a mom nickname type of thing. And I started saying tater tot, and they go, Mom, I really like that tater tot thing.
That's great.
But the effort of to keep trying to make sure they are comfortable is very important to me. And even though I may still get the pronoun goofy, they tell me all the time, Mom, I know you are trying, you are doing a great job, you just don't give up. And I said, it's just a little different with the grammar thing. I'm still trying to adjust to the grammar, but they tell me all the time, Mom, I know you're doing great, you're trying really hard to make sure that I'm comfortable. And I can't be more happier about that. It's the effort to make sure they're comfortable and want to hang out with mom, and I want to just be that person. I want to be their cheerleader no matter what. So it's definitely having the understanding, having the go-to, the companionship of, you know, saying we can all unite. We're all people. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, where you come from, what your background is. What matters is who we are now
We're
and
still
moving
human.
forward in a positive.
Yeah.
We're still
Excellent.
human.
Yes.